Hello. Welcome to Yoga for Life. This is an all levels practice and we probably still have like 3-ish minutes before we get started. So nice amount of time to roll out your mat, find your way there, and kind of get comfortable. So you can use this time to invite in a little movement, or maybe you just want to sit in a little peace for a few moments, kind of quieting the mind, whatever speaks to you. We're going to begin on our backs today, so if you wanted to head that way, you could. So if you're just joining in, we're still getting set up, just making our way to the mat, taking our time. If you want any music turned on, now's an opportunity to do that. Probably about 2 minutes to go. Grabbing anything you may want to incorporate into your practice, a blanket or a block. Ooh. So we're still just finding our way to the mat, getting comfortable, setting up for our practice. You can use this time to tune in. You just heard a thump, something just fell in the closet. I precariously set some camping mats in there and I'm pretty sure they just slid down. So sorry if you heard a little thump, no biggie. Got probably 30 seconds more to go. Coming onto the mat. So again, if you're just joining us, this is our Yoga for Life, all levels practice. It's about an hour long, and we're going to begin on our backs. So if you haven't already, let's make our way there. Gently laying down, find a spot for the head and the shoulders to rest. And to begin, you could leave the feet on the mat with the knees bent, maybe the knees even rest against one another. You could extend the legs, really finding a posture on the mat that feels good for your body right now, a spot you can rest for a few moments and come into the practice. Let the body grow a little softer. Melting toward the mat. Gently releasing tension as you encounter it, as you check in with the body. Maybe this is loosening the toes, or relaxing the legs. Allow yourself to come into a comfortable spot. Draw the mind here to the practice. Feel the mat underneath you, the breath in the body. Invite the mind to the present, to be with you here on the mat. Thoughts may pop up, and that's all right. Know that you don't have to hold on to them. You can simply let them go. Continually bringing yourself back to the breath. As we deepen the inhale and extend the exhale. Take nice full rounds of breath. Allow the body to expand with the inhale and soften with the exhale. See if you can even out the inhales and the exhales. Build a balanced breath. Keep this balanced breath. Before we begin our practice, take a moment to check in, to see how you're feeling today. Checking in mentally, physically, emotionally. Just connecting with where you are, allowing yourself to be present, to be here, bringing whatever it is to the mat. And then if you'd like, you can set an intention for class. Something you're working to cultivate here and the practice that you can take with you out into the world. Maybe that's contentment or compassion. Whatever's speaking to you today. The legs are extended. Gently bring the feet to the mat, bending the knees. We'll draw the right knee in toward the chest. You don't have to pull it super close. Keep the head and the shoulders on the mat. Check in with the hips and the glutes. Give the knee a little squeeze and send the heel up. You can keep a bend at the knee. It can be as generous as you like. Scan from the hip to the heel. And point the toe. Draw the awareness down the front of the leg. And point and flex the toe a bit. Or point and flex the foot. You can wiggle the toes a bit. Find stillness with the right foot. Bend that knee and bring the foot back to the mat. Take a breath. And bring the left knee in. The other half of our modified half wind relieving pose. Notice if you're really pulling with the arms, if it's taking a lot of strength. And if it is, ease up a bit. That may mean that the knee's a bit farther away from the body, and that's okay. And if holding around the shin isn't speaking to you, you can always hold behind the thigh as well. squeeze and send the heel up. Check in with the left leg. Aware of how it's feeling today. Each side can be a little different. And then point the toes. Feel the openness through the top of the foot and the shin. Point and flex. Invite a little movement into the ankle and the toes. Find stillness with the left foot as you bring it back to the mat. We'll slide the left foot away. Take that leg nice and long and pull the right knee into the chest. Our full half wind relieving pose. The spine is long on the mat. Hold on to the right knee with the right hand as you let that knee fall open. Hips stay square to the sky. I sometimes like to put my left hand on my left hip here. A reminder to find that center. Keep the breath steady. Bring the knee back to center. We'll find a little flow as we inhale to open. Exhale to center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. Find your flow as you follow your breath, playing with your range of motion. The right knee can be as close to the shoulder or as far away as your body wants today. Be mindful of how the hip and inner thigh are feeling. One more full round. Be back at center. Give the knee a squeeze and send that heel high. With control, keep strength in the right leg. We'll lower it down to the mat. Nice and steady. Right heel will hit. We'll draw the left knee in, balancing it out. Maybe the belly presses into the thigh a bit here. The inhale filling the body. Hold on to the left knee with the left hand. Find that openness, knee journeying toward the earth. Relax the hips. Awareness is on the left side of the body. Bring the knee back to center. Find that flow. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Follow your breath. Keep the heart open to the sky. The spine long. Right leg can relax a little here. One more full round. Give that knee a little squeeze and then send the heel up. With control, lower the left leg down. Let both heels rest on the mat as you inhale the arms overhead, full body stretch. Reach from fingers to toes. Lengthen the body. And then on an exhale, draw the knees in, full body hug. We'll take a few rounds of breath here. Peace fingers will go behind the knees. Start to rock along the length of the spine. And then use that momentum to bring you up to a seated posture. You can take legs crossed, legs stacked, maybe one in front of the other. So we sit up tall, hands to knees. Let the shoulders draw away from the ears. We'll do a few seated cat-cows. On an inhale, press the heart forward, gently lift the gaze up a bit. Exhale as you round, draw the gaze in. Inhale, press the heart forward. Exhale, arch the back. Continue at your own breath pace. You can hold wherever the body wants. Be mindful of your movements here. And after your next full round, we'll meet back at our neutral spine. Sit bones connected to the earth. Crown as the head lifts up, maybe a gentle tuck of the chin. We'll bring the hands down to the mat. And let the left ear fall toward the left shoulder. Bring the head back to center. And then right ear to right shoulder. Stretch for the left side of the neck. Keep the shoulders relaxed here. Return to center. Drop chin to chest. With the nose, draw a line all the way up to the sky. Feel that little lift of the heart, some openness through the throat. Bring the gaze back to center. We'll draw the arms up out to a T. And then give yourself a big hug. See if you can keep the arms parallel to the earth. Sitting up tall as we open up that space between the shoulder blades. Inhale to open the arms. Exhale back to the hug, opposite arm on top. Probably feels a little wonky. Probably went with what felt natural to begin with. See if you can sit here for a couple rounds of breath. In tune with how the body is feeling. Inhale to open. Exhale, release the hands down. We'll transition over, finding a tabletop, setting up somewhere in the center of the mat. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, tops of the feet down at the mat. Spread the fingers nice and wide, a neutral starting spot. Shift the weight to the right hand as you flip the left, a little stretch for the wrist and the forearm. The fingers are pointing toward the knee. The back of the left hand is in the mat. You can keep a generous bend at the elbow if needed. And you don't have to put too much weight onto that hand. We'll unwind, give that wrist a few spins, plant the hand back in the mat. Find your starting place. Shift the weight to the left as you flip the right hand, opposite side. Draw awareness to the right wrist and forearm. Gently unwind, spin out the wrist. Plant the hand back down. We'll keep the hips nice and high as we take the left hand forward about a handprint. Right arm reaches out, and then we'll weave it behind. Lowering down onto the right shoulder and the right cheek. Our threaded needle, hips are high. Inviting in this little twist for the body. Left hand can stay connected to the mat, the elbow bent, a nice brace. You could send that arm out straight, palm down overhead. Or you could wrap the left arm around to the low back. Lots of options to explore in this shape. Find a spot where you can relax there for a moment. If the left arm is wrapped around or reached overhead, draw it back in. Plant the left hand into the mat. Use it as a brace as you lift up. Weight off of the right side, unwind, and come back to that neutral tabletop. Opposite side, right hand goes forward. Left hand reaches out and then weaves behind. Take your time as you lower down. Gently come into this twist, letting the weight settle on the cheek and the shoulder. Check in with the ribs and the spine. Soften the feet. Keep the breath steady. Again, you have those options for the right arm. And maybe this side of the body wants something that the other didn't. The right arm is wrapped, bring it back to the mat. Give yourself a foundation with the right hand as you lift off of the left side. Unwind and come back to center. We'll curl the toes and gently sit back, taking a moment here to stretch the feet and the ankles. And if this doesn't speak to you, because it's really not for everyone, feel free to just stay in tabletop a bit, or you could curl the toes. We'll only be here for another breath round. Come back to tabletop. Leave the toes curled. Take both hands forward, about a handprint. Setting our foundation for down dog. When you're ready, lift the hips up and back. Strong arms. You can pedal out the feet here, bend the knees. Finding what feels good for your body today. Find stillness. On an inhale, look toward the hands. Exhale as you walk the feet forward, coming to forward fold. Let the head hang heavy, the arms relax. They can reach to the earth. You could grab opposite elbows to hang in ragdoll. Maybe shake the head a little yes and no to loosen the neck. And find stillness. If you're holding elbows, go ahead and release the hands. We'll generously bend the knees, lower the hips, belly to thighs. Build a foundation through all four corners of the feet and roll up. Coming to Tadasana, our strong mountain pose. Take a breath. We'll leave the right foot forward as we step the left foot back about 2 to 3 feet. Both feet firmly planted down. Legs mostly straight, hips square to the short edge of the mat. Lengthen the spine and then lead with the heart as you hinge forward. Hands can be on the hips here. You could bring them to heart center. You could even interlace the fingers behind you. You want to keep a long spine, so lean forward just as far as your body wants. That may be a little. You might go full 90 or even beyond. Be mindful of how the legs are feeling. Core is engaged. Take a generous bend in the right knee and then press up. Drop the left foot back farther. We're going to set it at about a 45 as we generously bend the right knee. Stack the right knee over the ankle or a little bit behind it. And if having the left foot at 45 doesn't speak to you, you could always do this on the ball of the foot as well. Setting our foundation for Warrior One. Inhale the arms up. Let the shoulders melt away from the ears. Palms face one another. And the arms don't have to be straight. They don't even have to be really close to the head. You can take a nice wide V here. Keep the arms a little soft. See what works for your body today. As you shine the heart forward. Drop the corners of the mouth, inviting in a little smile. Maybe lift the gaze ever so slightly. Our victorious posture. Bring the gaze back to center. Lower the hands, interlace the fingers behind the back. Draw the knuckles down, the shoulder blades together. Lead with the heart as we head to humble warrior. Right shoulder toward right knee. The belly might rest on the thigh here. It might float inside. Keep the back body strong. Tap into the strength of the right leg. Feel that foundation as you press up. And release the arms. We'll turn the back foot, bringing it to a 90 degree. You may have to lengthen the stance a bit here. Keep that generous bend in the right knee. Check for that bone stack. And when you're ready, draw the arms up to shoulder height. Right arm forward, left hand back, palms down at the mat. Draw the gaze out over the front fingers, ready for whatever comes your way here in Warrior Two. A strong foundation, solid in our pose. Again, you can keep the arms a little soft here. They don't have to be perfectly straight. Want the shoulders melting away from the ears. We'll drop the back hand, rotate the front palm, lift up and back. You can straighten the front leg or leave it bent. Exalted warrior. With control, come back to Warrior Two. Lower right forearm to right thigh as you lift the left arm up or up and over. Yogi's choice. Keep the heart open to the sidewall here. Feel the length of the left side of the body. On an inhale, we'll lift back up to Warrior Two. And take a breath. Lower the arms, straighten the front leg. We'll turn the toes. Both feet pointed at the long edge of the mat, a nice wide stance. We'll bring hands to hips. Stand up nice and tall. Keep a flat back as long as you can as we hinge forward. And when you can't keep that flat back anymore, release the hands. Let the head lower, coming into your wide angle forward fold. Hands can rest on the mat under the shoulders. You could walk them back a little bit, using them as the leverage to deepen the stance. Or you could hold on to feet or ankles. Draw awareness to the back of the legs. Start to engage the core as you come up to half lift. And then stand all the way up, rising to the top. Taking a breath. Let the blood flow return. We'll heel toe the feet together. A nice dismount out of that posture as we meet back toward the front of the mat. Left foot will stay forward, right foot will drop back. That 2 to 3 feet, feet are on skis. Square the hips, set the hands. And again, you have options. Long spine as you lean forward. Or really hinge forward. We want that to come from the hips here. Again, only go as far as your body wants. Check in with the back of the left leg. Check in with the right. Both feet planted down. We'll generously bend the left knee, press up, coming to a standing pose. We'll drop the right foot back. And again, you can do that 45, or you can go on the ball of the foot here. Check the bone stack in that left knee. Square the body to the short edge of the mat. The gaze is forward. We'll inhale the arms up. Warrior one. Both legs are engaged. Tailbone draws down. Little lift of the heart. Maybe a time to check in with that intention that you set for class. To feel the breath in the body. Lower the hands, interlace them behind you, find that open heart, and take it forward, humble warrior. Take your time, notice the supporting muscles throughout the body, helping to hold you here. Root into the left foot as you lift up. Release the hands. Turn the back foot. I'll spin around to kind of match you guys. So we've got a generous bend in that left knee. Back foot's planted at 90. Keep the left knee in alignment with the toes. And then draw the arms up. Warrior two. Bring the fingers together. Feel the openness through the heart. Drop the back hand, rotate the front palm, lift up and back, exalted warrior. Try not to let the right hand rest on the knee, maybe on the thigh or the hip. You can even bring it to the low back. With control, come back to warrior two. Take a breath. Lower left forearm to left thigh as you reach up or up and over. Keep the hips sitting low here. Checking in with that bend in the left knee. On an inhale, come back to warrior two. leg, turn that toe to the long edge of the mat. We'll bring the heels angled in, toes will angle out to the corners of the mat. Lengthen the spine, hands to thighs as we lower hips. Sumo or goddess pose. A nice deep hip opener, building a little strength in the legs as well. You can hold here. You can invite in a little rock or a little twist. Sometimes those subtle movements can make holding this posture a little more enjoyable. Continue to breathe. Find stillness. Press into the heels as you lift up and take a breath. We'll inhale the arms up to the corners of the room, a big starfish. And then start to spin the wrist, either direction. And let the hands begin to slowly flutter down like leaves falling off a tree. Imagine the wrists loosening as they come and settle at your side. Heel toe the feet together. So we come out of that posture and meet back at the front of the mat for vinyasa to help us journey down. So we'll begin in our Tadasana, and you can go feet hip width distance apart or toes together, heels together. Inhale the arms up. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back. One foot and then the other. High plank, you can lower to the knees if you like. Keep the elbows close in as you move through Chaturanga to the belly. Uncurl the toes and inhale up to your cobra. Exhale as you release. Curl the toes, press the hips up and back. Down dog. We'll take a few rounds of breath here. Invite a little wave into the body. As you shift the hips forward, come back to that high plank. Take a breath. Lower down, come to the belly. Chin is in the mat. We'll uncurl the toes. Bring the arms down alongside body. Pinkies touching thighs as we prepare for half locust. With the chin and the palms in the mat, we'll inhale up the right toes. Finding whatever lift your body wants today. With control, lower the right toes down. Inhale up the left. Keep that foundation. Palms are in the mat. Left leg is strong. On an exhale, lower it down. When left toes touch, we'll inhale up the right. On an exhale, lower the right toes. Inhale up the left.
Inhale both feet. We'll bring the hands up under the shoulders. Take a breath as you relax the body. On an inhale, we'll lift up as we bring the elbows under the shoulders. Arms are parallel, palms down in the mat. Draw the gaze forward, long spine in our Sphinx. Nice and tall, we sit like the majestic monument. A nice stretch for the front midline. Keep the upper body where it is as you lift the right toes up, a little bend at the right knee. It's at about 90. And then lower it down. We'll find that bend at the left knee as we lift that foot off the mat. And lower it down. Take a breath. We'll press into the palms as we take the elbows wide, lower down, favorite cheek to the mat. And then swap sides, opposite cheek goes down, a little stretch for the neck, relax the shoulders. Bring the chin back to center, hands under shoulders, curl the toes, press up to tabletop, and then lift the hips, finding your down dog. Take a breath. We'll root into the left toes as we draw the right toes up, three-legged dog. Find a bend at that right knee as you bring it forward, shifting the weight. We'll plant right knee behind right wrist. Lower the hips, uncurl the left toes. That leg is long as we come into our pigeon. Take your time getting here. Keep the body square. Sometimes in pigeon, we have a tendency to fall off to the left or the right. You want to try and stay centered. And you can stay lifted here. If the hips are feeling up to it, you can gently make your way down to the mat. Maybe even resting on the forearms. Maybe bowing the head down. Be here for about a minute. Focus on the right hip. Use each exhale to invite in a little more softness. Let the body grow a little heavier. Relax into the shape for about 15 more seconds. If you're folded down, we'll begin to gently lift up. Hands return to the mat of foundation as we curl the left toes. Engage that leg. Lift the knee off the mat. Take the weight off the right leg as you step it back. Hips go high, down dog. Take a breath here. When you're ready, shift the weight to the right foot as you draw the left leg up. And then bring it forward, nice and controlled. Take your time as you come into your pigeon. Left knee settling behind left wrist. Gently uncurling the right toes, lengthening that leg as you settle the hips. Find your shape. Relax the feet. Awareness draws to the left hip. You can stay lifted, or again, you can work your way down, knowing that what works for one side may not work for the other. So really stay in touch with how the body is feeling. And if you do fold down, know that you can lift up at any time. Make this experience your own. We'll be here for about another minute. Sometimes as we hold this shape in stillness, the body and the mind will kind of disconnect and the mind might wander off. If it does, just gently draw it back. Focus on the breath and the body. Maybe tap back into that intention. All good reminders to stay present. If you're folded down, work your way back up. Build a foundation, lifting the right knee, stepping the left back, down dog, our last down dog of the class. Strong arms, heart gently presses back. Lower the knees, uncurl the toes, hips to heels, child's pose. Let the belly rest on the thigh, soften the arms. Let the hips settle a little closer toward the heels. Start to walk the hands toward the knees as you lift up. Rotate onto a favorite hip. Swing the legs forward and gently transition down to the mat. Let the back rest. Leave the feet connected to the mat, a little bend at the knees. Draw the low back down. Take a breath. Heel toe the feet together, and then let the knees fall away from one another. Coming into your supine bound angle, the low back might lift up a bit here, that's all right. Every body is made a little different. Let the legs grow a little heavier. If the hips are feeling like they need a little support here, you could bring the hands to the outer thighs, creating little kickstands for the legs.
Or you could just let gravity gently draw them down, helping to open the hips. Two more breaths here. Bring the hands to the outer thighs and help the legs back up. Take a breath. And then find your way to Shavasana, sending one leg and then the other long on the mat. Creating a little space between the feet. Arms can rest at the side, palms up, a gesture of receiving. If traditional Shavasana doesn't speak to you though, you can bring hands to belly. You could keep the feet connected to the mat and let the knees rest on one another, or even do it in that supine bound angle. Take this time to feel out what shape works for you. What's feeling good for your body today, where you feel like you can really settle in and take a few moments. When you find that shape, let the body grow a little heavier. Feel the head resting, the shoulders settling. The limbs are heavy. The feet relax. Let the breath return to its natural rhythm. Find that restful place for breath and body. That spot where it's nothing but ease, where no work is required, where you get to simply enjoy being, to sit with yourself for a moment. The body finds its restful place. Invite the mind to as well. Sometimes I like to imagine this is sitting beside a river, just watching it babble by. And as the thoughts pop up, they can just be leaves on that river, floating by. Creating a little serene space. Holding the stillness as we take the next few moments in silence for ourselves. I'll hold the space and let you know when it's time to come up. You can stay here in Shavasana as long as you like. If you're ready, we'll start to invite back in gentle movements. Maybe brush the fingertips with the thumb. Feel that sense of touch once more. And start to move the feet and wiggle the toes. Gently grow these movements a little larger as you reawaken the body. And when you're ready, if you like, you can draw both knees into the chest, that full body hug once more. The back body resting on the mat. You could stay right here, or you could rotate on to a favorite side, stacking the hips and resting the head on the low arm. Wherever you're at, take this opportunity to thank the body for all that it has done for you today and all that it does for you every day. Offer the body support as you gently lift up. Start to let the light back in. Find that seated posture as we bring hands together at heart center, sealing in our practice. I encourage you to take kind thoughts, kind words, and kind intentions with you from now until we meet again. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me on practice this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you back on the mat next Monday evening. Bye, everyone.